Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. This is Nigeria Now on Equa Television International. I want to believe that you are doing good out there, and thank you for giving us this time for us to do this program together. I want to implore you to just go to our YouTube and Facebook as we do this show together. Just drop your comment on anything that on the topic that we're going to be discussing today. And on the show today, I have my regular colleague, Joyce Jakada. Good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon, Sawu Solomon. Pleasant afternoon to our viewers out there. It's always a pleasure to be here, and it feels good doing this with you. Thank you.
Yeah. Looking at governor and then state house elections, anticipation for Saturday polls, and then you have people coming out to talk. When I say people, icon people of high repute, coming out to lay their voice on the issue of election. You know how it is when it comes to election in this country. We had like series of general elections since 1999. I think this is the 7th we're talking about, and then how normally it comes out, before, during, and after. There's this issue of violence, there's this issue of intimidation, there's this issue of do or die. And then every time like this, you hear prominent people coming out to really talk, concerning the election. And this time around, you have Jonathan, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, questioning people like leadership is not by force, and they should see it like not like a do or die affair.
I think that is timely, counting barely 24 hours to the gubernatorial election as well as state houses of assembly. I don't think election should be a do or die affair. When you talk about election, it is very significant and essential in a democratic country, because time to time people you are expected to conduct elections so that the choice of the people will emerge, and then whoever the people wants to rule over them, to serve them, will actually emerge as a leader. But where you see threats, where you see intimidation, when you see traces of violence, then obviously some people want it to be a do or die affair, and that you can liken to some of the violence we are seeing cutting across states in Nigeria. But I think it is a time where Nigerians are supposed to exercise their civic responsibility without intimidation, and no wonder eyes are on the security as well as INEC to ensure they do the needful, especially in protecting the citizens as they go out there to exercise their civic responsibility. When things like this are coming, when signs like this are being observed, it is only applaudable to see stakeholders like the former president coming out to say that politicians should not make politics, should not make election a do or die affair. When you look at the trajectory of our politicians and their antecedent, how they do things, when someone goes to the office that was actually whether elected for or selected, at the end of the day he wants to remain there for reasons best known to him. But I don't understand why things will not be working in your state, for example, and you want to keep being the governor there. Why not take a bow and allow another person to actually come and try his own ideas and visions and see if that is going to work for the nation? People shouldn't see it that because I went it's just 4 years, it's just one term, I must do the second one. No, we should desist from that. If you tried the first term and you are unable to, you take a bow. Or if you've never tried and then this is your first time and you lose, go down honorably, except if the process is faulty, except if there are some situations of rigging and all of that, then you can resort to the court to fight that. But not to see people intimidating people because they think they must be on that seat by fire, by force. Like, just to talk about the case of Lagos State. Recently, there was actually an address, like a video going around by the chairman Lagos State Parks Management Committee, talking about Akinsola. He's popularly known as MC Olomo, and he was saying, Mama Chikudi, like, if you're not voting for APC, something like that, better stay at home. And then you hear statement that if your vote is not going our way, we know what to do. All these are intimidating statements. Like, we've seen situations where people went to even the polling units at the presidential election, and because they are not voting for a particular party, they are being attacked and all of that. And I think it's so uncalled for. Nigeria belongs to all of us. We shouldn't even be seeing a statement like people are less of indigenous, or people that are not indigenous should go back to their state and vote for whoever they want to, if they will not vote for the candidate that is on seat in a particular state. When you look at the antecedent of MC Olomo, for example, he was one time in the NURT, and currently like the chairman of Lagos State Parks Management Committee. It means he's worker, is the staff of the Lagos State government. So by this time, we should see the government cautioning people like that. Because when you talk about government at the state level, for example, the governor is the chief security officer. So we expect that all the chief security officers cut across all the states, the 28 states that elections is going to be holding tomorrow, like, are addressing their people on the need for them to remain peaceful. So no security apparatus belong to anybody or any political party. I think that should be well noted. The goal is Nigeria. The goal is the protection of every Nigeria. We shouldn't be seeing people taking advantage of some of these security apparatus because you're empowered and you want to just utilize or use them to favor you. No, we don't want to see that. So I think it's very important that every state governor at this moment address their people, address the security agencies, so that we don't jeopardize the peace that we have been enjoying. Security experts have released reports saying that Kano, Sokoto, Kaduna, Kogi, Enugu, Imo, Delta, Oshun, and like others, they are like hotspots with some traces of violence, even attempted assassination in Delta, and even intimidation and all of that. If these states are on hotspots, I expect that the security agency should not take for granted the reports coming from election security experts, so that at the end of the day, we will not be reacting. We should be proactive right now. We've seen the case of NNPP and APC in Kano State that even led to the loss of lives of some people. So what are the plans in place ahead of tomorrow's election? Because for some people, just like the former president said, they see election like do or die. But he's urging them not to see it as that. For him to make that statement, that means for some people, because it is my turn, like they have made it, it is my turn. It must be me. That must, like, people go ahead as far as telling people that are working for them to deliver a particular polling unit. And in such situation, the person wants to do everything within his power to ensure that he delivers that particular polling unit to his principal. And what that means is that if he's unable to, that means he will disrupt the process, so that at the end of the day, the votes there will be invalid. You get, it will not count. So politicians have already highlighted points that they know, places that they know that they are disadvantaged. So some of them, what they do is that they try to disrupt the process to ensure that nothing happens there. If it's not in their favor, then it shouldn't be. And that is why they use all manner of people to ensure that at the end of the day, the vote is to their favor. What would you make statement like, I need you to deliver this place for me? Oh, it's not about the Nigerian people. It's not even about the citizen going out to vote. You're asking someone to deliver a polling unit for you. I think it's uncalled for. So let's see people that will be emerging as like representative of the voice of the people, because everyone's vote is his voice, and every Nigerian's voice deserves to be heard. So I just hope that at the end of the day, this election will count. Over time, I think when we start having ex-convicts due to maybe their engagement in election violence and all of that, people will desist from that. But most times we have arrests, we have most of these cases, but at the end of the day, die without anybody even hearing anything. Like after the 25th February presidential election, about 89 cases of electoral violence across the country. Was actually noted. And if you ask me what has been done so far, what happened to the arrests? These are questions that people are asking. No interrogation, no prosecution. Like how many ex-convicts, like I asked earlier, how many of them do we have because of electoral violence? When we begin to have this on ground, that when people are being caught, people are arrested, they are being interrogated, then people will be able to desist from that. But just like the likes of MC Olomo, like they come out in public and make statements because they feel nothing can be done about it, and no wonder other people are turning that part. So I think the security agencies need to be up and about in ensuring that they do the needful. We've seen security agencies coming together, having meeting, ensuring Nigerians that the whole process is going to be peaceful and all. But beyond the talk, let's see them doing the talk.
Yeah, and for talking about Lagos, I listened to the Commissioner of Police, giving assurances, and particularly this MC that you talked about, they asked him what are they doing, that the cyber department are really working hard, to verify all this fact, and he's assuring all Nigerians that nobody is above the law. Once they establish the fact, there's going to be prosecution, and then he said they are going to do it openly. And I think the IGP, gave an order to all the CPs, that they should make sure all the cases in their jurisdiction concerning electoral violence and so on and so forth, that they should make sure that they finish it and clean it up in good time and then send it to INEC, because the INEC now are the ones that have the right to do that proper prosecution, after them doing their findings, gathering report, and then they will forward it to INEC. And I think that's what the IGP want to do, that they should quickly tidy up and then send all those reports. I don't know, maybe they're trying to wait maybe until tomorrow's own is over, then they will gather everything and then send the report. We don't know, but we want to see, the security agents being proactive. Let's be responsible, in our given assignment. Like you rightly said, police is for all. They are being paid with taxpayer money. You don't belong to any political party or any governor or any VIP anywhere, you understand. So, but I think it is high time for them to know the boundaries, because sometimes, you even see policemen carrying bags for their principal officers, and then you start wondering, and then the person is carrying, the coat of arms, the uniform fully kitted, and then you start wondering, the whole thing is just, but I just feel that they will step up too, and then prove their worth, and then do what they are called to do, what is enshrined in the Constitution. Question of competence and character. That's what Tinubu is talking about.
I think a lot of people have been highlighting that the election should be about competence. It should be about character, good character. It should be about capability. It should be about track record. It should be about vision. And I think he is also the president-elect, talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu is touring the same path. So just like we've always emphasized, even earlier this week, we saw how that Yakubu Dokara said that he actually is about candidacy and is not about party. We also saw that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party also talking about the fact that people should vote competence, and the question was raised, people were asking, so what about if a governorship candidate from your party is not competent, are you saying we should not vote? The person from his comment, obviously don't vote anybody that is not competent, even if the person is from his party. And you hardly see that in Nigeria today. People will always tell you, when it comes to their party, it should be top to bottom, regardless of who the person is, whether the person is competent or not, as far as you are from their party, you support the party's ideology, you support whatever agreement is within the party, then they will call for people to vote you. You will hardly see a candidate telling you that, no, vote this other person from this party because it's competent. Even if they have to say it, they will say it in the hidden, because probably because of the laws that guide some of the
political
party
parties,
constitutions and all of that. But I think the bigger picture is Nigerians, and we cannot allow the voice of the minority continue to suppress the voice of the majority of Nigerians. And that is why we always emphasize that let us look out for competence beyond party. Like, let us look out for competence. I've seen people even on social media platforms saying that this election is going to be rice, stew, this and that, like a mixture of everything. That is to tell you that Nigerians now, it's not about political party. People are saying, no, we want to vote competence. We are tired of where we are right now. Why can't we be like other developed countries? Why is it that when it comes to poverty, we are heading, unemployment, we are the top front. When it comes to underdevelopment, we are there. Death profile, out of school children, we are always leading. Why can't we just be like other developed nations? And talks comes about like, oh, maybe because of the fact that we don't have leaders, and the time for us to have leaders is during the election, where we have opportunity to elect people, and Nigerians are saying, oh, we are going for competence. Like, enough of all this peril that has befallen us. Like, what people can sit down and tell you, oh, what happens in the next 5, 10, 20 years? So the future is in our hands now, and we can only decide that through the election. So I think competence, other stakeholders go for competence, President-elect saying go for competence, and I think it's a very good one that every Nigerian come 18 March 2023, when you go out to cast your vote, it should be on the basis of competence. Don't vote tribe, don't vote ethnicity, don't vote region, don't vote on nepotic reason, but vote competence. Who is able to bring your state out of the debt profile? Who is able to bring your state out of the challenges of poverty, hunger, unemployment, insecurity, and all of that? We've had situations where farmers cannot even go to their farm in some of the states in Nigeria. Why? Because like bandits have overtaken that part of land. Before, people farm as far as you can't even count the kilometers, but now people try to farm just around their houses, and I think it's not good for us as a nation. So it is important that come 18th March, which is tomorrow, at barely 24 hours, let's go all out to vote competence. When we vote competence, of course, posterity will remember us for doing the right thing. Posterity will clap for us. This is the time for us to make our voice heard. Already we've seen that security, there was like interagency security meeting. I kept emphasizing about security because it's key. From the presidential election, some people lost their lives. We don't want to. Every life of Nigeria matters, and we need to take it serious. We need to protect their lives, and the primary responsibility of every government is the protection of life and property. So just the way interagency committee meeting held promising security for this election, we want to see that in ground. We don't want to see cases of intimidation, violence, attack, attempted assassination. Like, how can people make leadership like a do or die affair that you want to kill another person just so that you can be there? So already some states have been highlighted. I've mentioned Kano, Sokoto, Kaduna, Kogi, Enugu, Imo, Delta, even Osun. They are already on the hot spot. That's coming for election security expert. And I think our interagency security need to do a lot in terms of safeguarding the people, ensuring that they go out and exercise their franchise peacefully, because we're already having what looks like a reflect to our peace. So we shouldn't have that. No wonder yesterday some Labour Party supporters in Lagos were attacked. It's uncalled for. Let's ensure that the peace we're enjoying is in place, and we should not jeopardize that.
Wow, it is very, very important, because in the absence of peace, I don't think there will be any development.
True.
So it is key. We the citizens should behave ourselves in an orderly manner, in such a way that everything will go smoothly. I want to sincerely thank you for doing this with us, and we pray that you will join us tomorrow, even as the choice open tomorrow, for covering of the election all over the country. So as you follow us, we would like you to send us your contribution from wherever you may be watching us, telling us how the INEC are doing, how your people are cooperating with them, and how the voting is going and how the counting is going, and probably maybe who wins in your polling unit. So let's just do this together tomorrow. By 9 o'clock, our studio will be open, so just join us. But stay tight with Equa Television to continue with our other programs. But for now, we say bye-bye. Thank you and God bless you.